There's going to be some more technology, obviously, implemented along with these different implementations of the safety and securities of these institutions. um, Having, there's a lot of technology we have. Some of the things we have are like those batons that detect metal on you and such like that. We also have the metal detectors that you walk through. Those types of things can actually be improved upon to better detect a wider range, to also with implementing technology would be extra cameras in places like blind spots where you wouldn't think to have a camera, or even in an area where maybe it's too shaded, something like that. And definitely having security cameras and whatnot inside, extra security cameras inside, so you can get more angles, so that you can be alerted to things at a quicker pace, be able to spot irregularities, abnormalities in the flow of traffic, anything like that, just to be on guard. All of this can be funded through the Financial Restructuring Act. It's part of adjusting the flow to the right departments, especially because we do need security. A lot of people are so uncomfortable in our nation right now just because of all the violence that's happened. So it's really important for that to take place. We're also going to be implementing definitely background checks for purchasing weapons, and I do mean good background checks. Also psychology requirements. Not necessarily that you have to have a psychology degree, but having a psych check done and making sure that that is available, at least to the place where you're purchasing your weapon from, so it's on record, and it will go to the appropriate agencies upon completion of your purchase. So also making sure that we restrict the types of guns, or at least vote on whether or not we should restrict certain types of guns, like automatic weapons. Restricting those to military and wartime, it seems responsible to me. We're not in a place at this time where we need to have those accessible to the public. But other firearms like hunting rifles and pistols, and those that are not automatic weapons that fire at a rapid rate, with the single pull or single squeeze of a trigger, those we can definitely vote on the legislation for those to make sure that our rights are not violated, and that we still stay responsible about our rights. It's leading by example. We also have another part to this, the national systems and agencies. We're going to be implementing, this administration plans to implement a national healthcare system. The national healthcare system covers medical personnel, it covers patients, hospitals and clinics, and it covers all the finances. The national healthcare system is an opt-in. You opt in through your W-2, through your tax form. The opt-in basically takes a portion of the taxes that we're already collecting and directs it towards the national healthcare system. directing that towards the national healthcare system basically pays for your medical. Now, it'll be taken out through your regular paycheck, but there will also be a percentage taken out through income tax returns. That all goes to helping pay for medical expenses for everyone. That way, everyone's covered. Everyone has the ability to go to the doctor and choose which doctor they go to without having to worry about, oh, do they accept my insurance? Or, oh my goodness, how much is this going to cost me? I don't have insurance. How am I going to afford to go? Emergency room bills are outrageous. So implementing this type of system is going to reduce the amount of debt that people incur through medical expenses. If people don't, if they decide to not opt in, that particular portion of their taxes goes to government spending. So there's sort of a trade-off there. And I'm not sure that everyone's going to want to opt in for something like that. But I'll tell you that with the medical personnel and patients, it allows for a regular set amount to be paid to hospitals to cover anything from materials and equipment to salaries, and making sure that salaries are reasonable, because it'll only cover so much. But making sure that we have that coverage is part of what's going to help make sure that our national healthcare system is free for out-of-pocket expenses. There's no reason why we can't do this. And having millions of people opt in is going to create quite the financial stability for the system. Making sure that patients are covered, making sure that with just a few exceptions, surgeries are covered, necessary medical expenses are covered. It stabilizes our healthcare. It stabilizes the access to healthcare. Let me put it that way. We also have, though, the national education system that I propose. It ensures that educators have a wage that is above $75,000 per year, and that's the starting wage for educators. Students would not have to worry about having to pay for meals at school. All of the education system's finances help fund, everything from school lunches and breakfast to a certain amount of recreational activities and educators' wages, making sure that the schools are maintained and the like. And it's also making sure that the curriculum is up to standard, and make sure that our children are able to learn a multitude of ways and be able to access the right educators to help them advance. And educators are not just teachers. We're all educators. Even students are educators. So the national education system also implements peer tutoring through high school, at least. Graduation requirements are going to change a little bit. I think it's important for all of us to think about how well our education was back in the 80s and 90s, even the 70s. Our education was a little bit better than it is now. Too many of our kids do not understand a lot of what they're being taught, and a lot of that has to do with how our education system in each state has moved away from the curriculum of that time, where they taught you how to break down mathematical equations to simplify them so that a person could understand them, how to break down sentence structure in English, how to use phonics, how, language, making sure that handwriting was neat so that people could read it and not have to guess what you were writing about. So a lot of these things have been lost. They don't teach a lot of that. They don't teach phonics. They don't teach writing anymore. It's all about computers. Unfortunately, for the education systems, things like that, they lose out. The individuals who are learning lose out because those things are essential for helping us retain those memories. It's scientifically proven that handwriting helps retain memories. It's not a cure-all, but it is one of the ways that we do make sure that we understand and that we retain the information that we learn. Handwriting, different ways that we've studied and such. So our national education system addresses these issues. It addresses safety, especially. It also addresses whether or not we should teach, or we should have our educators trained to, given specific training, I should say, regarding safety and those emergency situations where, you've got an active event, someone's injured, and you have to administer CPR or you have to administer first aid. Having our educators trained that way. I know it's a little bit scary and that our educators shouldn't have to feel like that they need to be trained that way. But having that extra security for our kids is going to greatly improve their comfort level in going to school, making sure that they obtain the information that, or not obtain, but retain the information that they learn. Having those distractions can be extremely hard on a kid, and it's very traumatic, unfortunately. We all know this. So that is that's the safety, or the national systems and agencies for now. I'll be continuing with interagency cooperation next week on Sunday's Fireside Chats. And here pretty soon, within the next few weeks, I believe, I'm going to have Davi back on as a guest. We're going to talk some more about how we plan to implement the different aspects of our plans, as well as showing how we work together and how we are working together to bring positive change to our nation. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity.